sports listeners. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. This is the whole hour of Santa Barbara Teen Athletes. Woo! And all those people in business that support those teen athletes. Boy. Oh. I tell you, yeah. Well, we were going to have Bill Pintard, but he's stuck.
He's stuck.
He's way stuck.
Can I?
He wanted me to helicopter in
joke
food.
That he's stuck in the mud.
Yeah, no, I know really. He said, Erica, yeah, I was supposed to be in meetings, okay, and he talked to the GM of Yankees, and he says, I'm stuck. And he said, I said, well, get a helicopter. That's what I'm saying. Do you want me to helicopter you in some food? I know.
They've got the money.
I was going to bring in one of those drones.
You know? I like it.
I know. I was going to bring in a drone.
From Amazon.
Bill, do you need a drone? You know, really.
Drop it.
I go, so seriously, on a serious note, I want him to come in here today because, it's guys like Bill that we need. You know how much I look up to him. He's my guy,
too.
right?
Great guy.
I know. So put him on speaker, right, D? And I said, I made a mistake. I said, everyone relies on you, so I'm gonna ask you how are you holding up. So I'll tell you. After about 5 minutes, I had, when you have this your phone, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want him to hear me have any crack in my voice. Mm-hmm. All right, so I held space for that man for like 5 minutes. I go, Bill, because he's from Brooklyn, right? So I go, Bill. So I don't know what it is with him. When I talk to him, like I get all New York, okay? So I go, Bill, talk to me. How are you doing? After 5 minutes, he had no idea, because you're on the phone, right? Water is just falling out of my face. Like I can't sniffle. I'm banging on D next to me, like pointing to the paper towels. But the way you get the paper towel, don't you dare pull it because he knows everything. He's got like I don't know if he bugged my house or whatever. Slowly grab the paper towel. Don't rip it out. What are you laughing at? I got Sam Russell in the house.
Hey,
listen, this is Bill Pintard. He's a Yankee scout. Say something. You're in ninth grade, okay? I don't know. Maybe he knows. Maybe he's in this room. I don't know. It's just cameras, okay? I want him to know who you are. Both of my boys, they were boys. They're boys before they were boys. They caught for him, not for him, okay? But they caught for the Foresters.
They were catchers for Pintard.
Not for him, but they were the bullpen, okay?
They threw for him.
No, they caught.
In the bullpen, they were the catchers for the pitchers in the bullpen.
Yeah, but
gotcha.
Oh my God, the grace of God, he let them catch in the bullpen.
Cool.
for the real catchers. But boy, when you're a catcher, for bullpen, when he lets you catch. When he gets you and he lets you be there, let me tell you something. When you get to see what it's like, to be around those college catchers and you get to taste. Most of my boys became college catchers in college because of Bill Pintard, let me tell you. So you'll meet him one day when I think you're ready. Okay, you sit down and don't talk.
No,
okay.
I'm
just kidding. You were on radio. So let me get back to Bill. So anyway, so he had said everything, all the people, that were how he's been challenged, and the people, his friends that he's lost, and, people, part of his Forrester family. And then, did I hold it together? How did I do, Dee?
You did very well.
Did I?
You did very well.
And then I got off the phone like anything, and then I had to go in my room for an hour.
Yeah. It's not easy. I was watching the news the other night, and I saw it was like not more than 5 or 10 seconds at the most of Doug Marjoram of Marjoram Wines, and he was in his truck, and John Palmentary, who has been unbelievable through all of this, both the fires and now this. And
John,
he's there talking. He apparently asked him how he was doing and this and that and the other. And Doug is wiping tears from his eyes while he's sitting in his truck, and it was like 5 or 10. And I started to well up because it's like, I know this guy. I've known him ever since I started working for the station. He came in to be part of the program. He had his own winery. We went out to his winery for tastings out in the valley. And then, of course, he buys the wine cask and all this kind of stuff. So you start to get to know people after you've been here a while, and then these kinds of things happen. And you're touched, unlike when we heard about Hurricane Harvey hitting Texas, and we heard about Irma and whatever the other names are hitting all these other places, and we don't know these people. Our hearts go out to them. But boy, when stuff like this happens at home, It's hard.
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Sam.
Sam, we love you. Sam Russell!
Hey, Sam.
You know, he flies in here no matter what. I mean, I think you like the show, hey?
Yeah.
You know, I got to bust you up. You're only a freshman. You got to. The first year is the hardest with me. But you come here, you take your licking, and you just keep sticking. I like it. You know, stick it. That's, I don't know, you know that term, right? Stick it?
No.
No?
Oh,
you don't?
stick it? Yeah.
You like that word?
Yeah.
Well, if I was your mother, you're going to hear that word a lot. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. Stick it. I like that word. No?
Yeah.
What does it mean? What does stick it mean for those who don't know what stick it means?
For like in baseball terms?
Yes.
If you're catching, just to like kind of catch it where the ball was, not to let your arm kind of fall down.
Love
or
it.
like have a tough arm and not really.
I like tough arm.
weak.
I like that. You gotta help. You gotta help the pitcher. Pitcher's your friend, right?
Yeah.
Stick it. Right. I love that. I love that word.
You're a catcher, is that right?
Yeah.
The catcher.
You're the catcher. Now, let me ask you a question. I find this fascinating because I watch Major League Baseball and the pitcher's throwing, and if the catcher can put his glove in the right place, yes, where the ball is going, but sort of to manipulate the visuals for the umpire to get a particular call. Is that something that is...
You can, it's like a framing wheel. So
Yeah,
if you catch
exactly.
If you catch it like high, you kind of turn your wrist down so it looks like the ball was lower. And
Right.
if it's lower, you kind of catch it in the pocket more so it just like physics work somehow that flips your glove up.
That's
and then
wild.
If it's inside to a righty, you
Yeah.
just like have your wrist kind of to point it out.
Righty
to the-
tighty, lefty loosey.
So what you're saying is that it is possible to sort of, and I'll put it this way, put it nicely, especially for the umpire behind the plate, to convince the umpire that the pitch was actually a strike when maybe it was a ball.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can do that most of the time.
Wow.
So when I was a kid, obviously, they didn't have TV where you could replay the ump's call. What do you think about the effect of being able to replay and determine whether the ump made a good call, what that's having on the game of baseball?
I feel like it's good and bad. I feel like if in the beginning of the game, they had no replay to where you could tell if the ump made a bad call, and bad calls were part of the game and depended on how the game actually, like the outcome of the game was. But I feel like it's good now if like it's the World Series Game 7, it was a play at the plate, and if he was out or safe and then the ump made a bad call and then you can watch the replay and he was actually safe, then that's like different.
Yeah, I'm kind of a purist. I say get rid of video replay. Either you let the umpires and the referees call the game as they see it the best they can, or you don't, because
All or nothing, baby.
yeah, I mean that's me. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Of course, I still have a problem with interleague play and the All-Star game being determining who gets home field advantage in the World Series.
Yeah.
But that's another day. But anyway, that's very cool. So now, when you're behind the plate catching, do you know how fast some of these guys are throwing? I know this is still high school, but do you know how fast some of these guys are throwing?
You can gauge most of it. Like average is probably like high 70s, low 80s for freshmen.
How's it feel hitting your hand?
Not that bad.
Not
Most
that
of the
bad.
time, if you catch it right, it doesn't hit your hand. It just hits the glove.
Hits the glove, the
Yeah.
meat of the glove. Okay. All right. Interesting. You love the game.
Yeah.
Yeah? Any particular part that you like? I mean, is...
Probably hitting the most.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what's your average?
Right now, season hasn't started, but for All-Stars last year, I think my average was like around 400.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The thing I love about baseball, as opposed to any other sport or any other job that you would do, is you can perform as a hitter and perform 33% of the time in the plus. But if you do that level of work in any other job or sport, you're done.
Yeah.
You're out. But in baseball, and 400 is amazing. You know.
You know, it really teaches you the value of continuing your efforts, even though you may hit a fail. So even though you get up to bat and you strike out, continuing your effort is what wins you the goal.
Yeah.
And that's how life is.
Yeah.
And he understands that the grades, along with the baseball, is going to get his mom just extra,
That combo.
a lot of extra love, because
That's why student comes first.
That's right. I know it's not an alphabetical order. I'm just saying. Hey, let's take a little break on that. We've got a big show today. We're going to be talking about all the recovery And Dominique's got a little piece that she's going to be doing. She's going to be doing a lot of research for us as we move back into Santa Barbara. Let's take a little break. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. All right. I know.
I like that. Everybody turns away.
I know. Well, you're right.
We don't want to break
their own voice.
I know.
We don't want to break the meters on the console there.
No, I remember on show, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was the only one. And my voice, I don't know, I'm like it or don't like it. I don't know. It's just like it came out like strong. I'm like, oh my God, from now on, I pull that so far away from me. I got to bring up something. First of all, Alexandria Marks, she did the cutest thing last week. She posted me as safe on Facebook, right? Yeah. So I go, oh, that's adorable. So then, not that I you know what I do on Facebook? You know, I put my art out there, right? Just because that's pretty much what I do. Or if I see something moving, it's really not a selfie person about the Facebook, right? About Facebook. Safebook. That's what I did, Safebook. So then this thing on Facebook comes, I have to confirm it. Right. So
if someone lists you in the place where Facebook sets up for people to check in, if someone nominates you as someone possibly in the area, you need to pop on there and just hit confirm that you're safe.
So I did. Yeah. Okay, so then, wildest thing.
Okay, define what do you mean by safe?
So, so Facebook, literally, if you get a message that someone has tagged you, that means that someone is trying to let other people know you're either close to a disaster area or perhaps you were in the disaster area. Okay. And they're giving you an opportunity to then click on it and confirm that you're safe. So there's two buttons. There's one that says like a check-in, and the other that you personally have to click into your profile and you confirm that you're safe.
Oh, okay.
So I do that.
Way for people to quickly, if you can't reach someone on a cell phone, it's a good way to go, okay, I know my relative or my good friend is okay.
Oh, okay.
So then I do that, okay? And then, no kidding you could ask Dominique, within hours, my phone blows up. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, So, thank you, Alexandria, because I even had a guy, I'll even say, I didn't even think, I thought the last time I talked to this gentleman, Manny, love you. It wasn't that good, I thought, and he's like, writes me this whole thing, thank God you're safe, if you need anything, our house is open, fly out here, we've been so worried about you.
Yeah.
So you don't really know, with the Facebook, and then like Long Island, all these places. So you don't really realize how worried people are about you. And that I found very touching. Yeah. So thank you, Alexandria, because you put your stuff out there, but I think people are afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
Is she okay?
Yeah.
So I said I was okay, and that
was really kind. I mean,
super sweet.
And people who aren't familiar with the Santa Barbara area may not understand how much has been impacted. So in Montecito, about 100 homes were destroyed, and 300 homes were affected by the mudslide. So we're talking 400 homes in an area of Santa Barbara where there's about 10,000 people that live.
Yeah.
So a huge amount of people have been impacted. And so it's really sweet that everyone's checking in from all around the country and just saying hi and sending their love.
Well, I called my folks to let them know we were okay, but it's like it's been 3, 4, 5 days since obviously the mudslides, and of course my dad. Well, I was thinking about you, and I was going to call you, but because he knew we weren't in the area, he knew we weren't in the area of danger.
You're in the mountains,
but we're in the mountains still, and of course we still got 4 inches of rain up where we live. And he says, "Well, I thought about calling you, but I didn't want to bother you." I says, "Dad, you can call me anytime. If it goes to voicemail, I'll check it and then I'll call back.
Right,
I'll call you back, or I'll send you an email or something. But you can go ahead and call anytime. I don't want him to think he can't, just because I might be working, maybe doing this show for that. He could call now.
Right.
Dad, I'll call you right back as soon as we get into a break.
Right.
But he was concerned, and obviously, sending his best wishes for our safety, and of course for others. And it is nice. And of course, you'd think, well, gee, maybe Richard does. People are out there going, oh, maybe Richard, maybe you should get on Facebook. Because my folks are on Facebook, or my mom is. I've got a couple of sisters, some nieces, and it's like, well, yeah, but I haven't, I'll get there. I'll get there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it is, you're absolutely right. It is nice when you start hearing from people. I got a phone call. No, it was a voicemail from some of the PR people that I deal with when I schedule guests for my show. And one of the first things that they might say in the email is, hope that you and your family are safe, and so on and so forth, or in the voicemail, the same kind of thing. And in one sense, even though I may have been dealing with them for the last 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 years, I don't know them from Adam, vice versa, but hey, there is that
it's a
nice
national.
concern.
What's going on in Santa Barbara,
deal.
Montecito? It's definitely it's a catastrophe, and everyone's thoughts and prayers. I mean, they're feeling our pain, and our love goes out to them. And we are a country, and this is America, and we're solid. As a country, we're solid. Yeah. Do you know anybody, Sam? You know anybody that's been? Thank God.
I don't think I've known anyone that was in the landslide.
Affected? Yeah. So let's do a shift here. Dominique, you've done a lot of work here over the last few days, and let's go over some tips that we can help people, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help kids.
Sure. So
help families.
We're hoping at this point that people in Montecito who are able to return to their homes are beginning to return to their homes. And we just want to let you know, if you go to the website, the EPA website and also the CDC website of our government have a lot of information about natural disasters and flooding and what to do in order to return to your home, to return to the area. There is a lot of information because, as a whole, our nation has suffered a lot of flooding, natural disasters all over the country. And various agencies and city governments have gotten together and put together great information for us as citizens to be able to safely come back to our homes and safely deal with what we're finding in recovering from a natural disaster. So, but the most important thing that we want to get out there, and I don't know, we have to double check as of Tuesday morning, but as soon as the flood hit, there's the order that in Montecito, you need to boil your water. So if you look at the Montecito Water District, there you can check in, and if they still have that red warning at the very top, that's warning you to don't just drink the water out of the tap. You need to boil the water. The next thing is mold. And
huge. Please listen to this.
The mask that we were given when there was smoke, that N95 respiratory mask, you need to be wearing that when you go back into your home if there's any water damage, because mold spores are in the air all the time, but when they hit the moisture, they're going to grow. And most people's allergic reaction is like you think you have pollen, or you get a runny nose, maybe your eyes get exactly. And people will respond to mold in various ways. But we just want to warn our citizens: you don't want to contact the floodwaters. You want to be fully clothed. You want to have gloves on. You want to have galoshes on, and you treat it as hazardous waste, because that's what it is. And highly recommend that professional people, and I'm guessing at this point that there's going to be information on websites that our city is going to provide for how to clean up from the national disaster. But if you want information right now, you can go to www.epa.gov, and their natural disaster flooding, and there's excellent information. And you can also go to www.cdc.gov under disasters, and it talks about mold and how to re-enter your house.
And I'm sure all these masks have been given to our service men that have been, and put your hands together for all you guys.
First responders.
All our first responders, and our police. Put your hands together.
Oh, yeah.
Firefighters, sheriffs, National Guards. I know they've been volunteers. Thank you all. And the students out there, because I know Westmont, put your hands together. I know the students out there. Bishop Diego High School. The football players have been out there. I've seen them. All the students have been
many people reaching
out, and have been doing everything that they can. As a community, as Santa Barbara, we've been all stepping up and providing. But I'm just, being gentle here because, not that I'm just running around being Facebook stalker, but, I don't see like a lot of people wearing the masks. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not being mask patrol,
Yeah.
So, but
we want people to be
safe.
healthy and safe, and
So-
you won't realize the impact of it for maybe a couple
Right.
of weeks.
Yeah.
But we're just warning you, please be properly
Right.
clothed, wear masks, put on
Right.
gloves. This is very serious.
And I think there's another element too, from the the physiological aspects, but also the psychological aspects that you need to. And I consider myself in the category because I live in this community.
right.
We need to find someone to talk to about this.
Right.
This,
Hear,
I
hear.
mean, the energy in the air, I'm sure in Montecito is even heavier than it is here in Santa Barbara
Yeah.
or in Goleta.
Yeah.
But we're all part of the same community because we've all been impacted. And so you need to find, if you've got a therapist, then go to your therapist.
I agree.
Or find a therapist-like person that you can talk to because you need to get it out. You need to talk about it. And
everyone
I know
needs
it's
to tell
hard,
their story.
But they do. They absolutely do. Yeah.
And we need to not be ashamed that even if we weren't in the flood, wherever in Goleta or different parts of Santa Barbara, we may still be grieving just as deeply if someone whose house got wiped away because we've witnessed it.
Yeah.
And we don't need to we shouldn't be ashamed of having those feelings of empathy and just respectful that our whole community is grieving.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be afraid to emote. That's what emotions are.
Yeah.
You emote.
Yeah.
So if you feel that you're overwhelmed, then you can't participate. You have to know your body. I mean, Dominique is always really good to express that. Say can't even use your words. Like just know what you can participate in because you don't really do yourself. The wellness.
The idea is that you put the air mask on yourself first.
Correct.
So if you're not having good self-care while our community heals from this, and it's going to take us a while, you need to have good self-care so that you're available to other people.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
I remember, and this is interesting, how in 2005, December 26th, there was an earthquake out in the Pacific and a tsunami that washed over an Indonesian island. Okay? And there were videos of this. And you saw the water coming in and then the water and the debris going out. And I saw a video of, and this was at 3:30 in the morning, and I know you've probably all seen it, of this one gentleman. He's got his camera, his phone going, and you see the roadway. You can see the white lines on the roadway. And all of a sudden you see this flow.
The wall of water.
Coming down the road. I thought I heard him say at a speed of between 40 and 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And he's yelling to everybody, go, 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 get out,
Yeah.
That was here in our neighborhood. The tsunami in Indonesia wasn't here.
Right. It affects us differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we need to take that time to talk about it, which is, I think, part of the reason why we're doing what we're doing here on the program today. I think this is very good.
Yeah.
And it just I've experienced other trauma, so I can speak to this just a little bit. The weird things happen. You'll be at the grocery store and you'll think that you're perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden you're picking out a tomato, and then you'll start to cry.
Correct.
And that's okay. The body is just processing. It's almost like there's a record player going on in the back of your subconscious where your body is reliving events, and it bumps into a physical reliving of an event. And you just hold space for yourself. It will pass. It will pass. But you need to know that you're not going crazy. This is part of the process of healing from trauma, and you're okay. Just give yourself space, breathing space, relax, breathe, and get hugs. Lots of hugs, people. Lots of hugs.
Yeah.
Great.
We'll do that during the break.
There you go. That's true. All right, let's do this. Erica Salda here. Be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. All right, so we got the mask situation down, Dominique.
Yes. The
all right.
importance of wearing masks, gloves, galoshes, long sleeve shirt, long pants. Don't touch the water. You want to stay away from floodwaters and in the whole cleanup process. If you do go in your house, you are okay with cleaning up your house. It's a cup of bleach to a gallon of water, and don't mix anything else in there. You don't want to do something like mixing ammonia and bleach or something, because that's toxic fumes. So if you're going to deal with bleach and clean up,
that's mustard gas.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
No, you only do with a gallon of water and a cup of bleach, and that comes from the CDC website. You can research that.
I think there's one other thing to add to that too, and that is don't do anything that is going to require putting yourself in harm's way.
Absolutely.
Like moving huge logs or boulders or whatever is out
Wait
there.
for professionals.
Exactly.
Yeah. And unless you've gotten the all clear, you don't try to turn on electricity, you don't try to turn on gas, all those things.
Yeah,
you
water and electricity don't mix.
Yeah, you go really slow and you wait till you've been given notice that those things are okay.
Yeah. So what
you
else
can't. No question is a silly question.
Oh,
That's
no,
the
absolutely
key.
not.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, you don't realize that. 2/3 of we haven't been trained in any of this. Anytime you're in a disaster, you're in shock. You're not making you're exhausted. Look where we just came from. We just came from fire.
A month-long
You know what I'm
fire.
saying? Right.
By the way, I've been asking the question, is the Thomas fire out yet? I haven't gotten an answer yet. I'm still getting that answer to that question. I would think it would be by now.
But we're exhausted as a community.
Yeah.
So, there's only so much that, the nervous system can take.
The Wichita. The Whittier fire in July. July for us was a wash.
Yes.
And then December, again, with the Thomas fire. So
it's not. It's a
slow process.
It is.
But it is moving forward. We are moving forward. And we'll get there. It's certainly, I never thought about this when in the 70s when I was living in Phoenix and we got the torrential rains and we got 2 50-year floods in one decade. And it filled the Salt River to overflowing and literally cut the city in half. You couldn't go from the north side of Phoenix to the south side because the Salt River was overflowing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it didn't seem like a big deal to us because, we were on the north side and we could get to the grocery store and we can get to work and school and that kind of thing. So I didn't think too much about it. I don't know how my parents handled that, And here I am, some 50 years later.
Well, it's 92%, contained.
Is that what they're still saying? Just
yeah,
92?
but that was as of January 3rd, so we'll have to double check on this side. Yeah. But it's no longer under the fire command.
Right. It changes jurisdiction.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure that coming up in the 11 o'clock hour on Tuesdays with Community Alert with Mike Williams and Ted Adams, they'll have information. Or you could even go to the Wildland Residents Association website, and I'm sure they might have some updated information as to the status of the Thomas Fire. It was fascinating when I started to hear about the fact that they still had some areas that were smoldering.
Right.
But the smoldering was due to, underground seeps in the mountain areas that they had to inject foam into in order to suppress those smoldering embers or the oil that was burning. I found so fascinating. It's like, holy mackerel.
I remember as a kid in Pennsylvania, there was a whole town that had was burning underneath because a coal mine had gotten on fire.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
wow.
So there are all sorts of big stories. Or how about up in the Los Alamos area a couple of years back? There was the fire, I think Lompoc, and it burned the marsh part for many months and created that smoky haze.
Smoke, yeah.
The one thing that I always want to encourage a community to do when it gets like this, we hear, and I'm not a big TV, I always keep mentioning, but be the light. When you get up in the morning, make somebody happy.
Give thanks. Wake up and go through your gratitude list.
Yeah, go through the gratitude list, but, shed light on the community. That's what I always, try to express, for myself personally.
I like what you say at the end of every program. be kind.
Yeah, just be kind. We
To
get
self
enough of
as
that.
well as to others.
Yeah.
I know this is all going to pan out okay, but I try to separate, and you and I map, and Dominique map the world the same. We hear a lot of stuff, and I understand people's frustration, and I'm just not going to go there because that doesn't get us to the end.
No,
and then for me, we already know everything. Okay, you and I all know, and I just say to people, look, at the end of the day, we have to get through this. I want to get through this with love is going to get us through this. We cannot. I want to look forward. I'm not going to turn my head. It's gone. It's over. Okay, so shed light. Okay, and I'd rather get through. If I have to go through you, it's going to be with a hug. Okay, I'm going to hug it. I'm going to spin us around, and I'm going to get past us that way.
It reminds me of an old Groucho Marx joke, where he was in, and it was actually in a movie he was in, and he said, and the woman says, "Hug me," so he hugs her, and he's going closer, so he hugs her a little tighter, closer.
Right.
If I hug you any tighter, I'll be behind you.
Yeah. See, I love that. Let's take a break. Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen, will be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. On a brighter note, I want to thank all those businesses out there because we went out again and did more collections. And I got to say, Santa Cruz, Televi,
Thank you.
Galita Sushi.
Thank you to the customers putting their coins
Was it Vin?
into
At
these
Galita
bags.
Sushi?
Always.
Hi, Vin.
I know. Really.
I'm going to get over there.
I know. Well, of course, you have a roll named after you.
I know. I'm
really.
so impressed.
And I just really encourage everybody, just to stay local, eat local. I mean, the restaurants just got really hurt the last couple of months.
Yeah, our local businesses do not have the tourism that they would have normally had December, beginning of January.
Everything got, tossed, catering closed, restaurants closed.
Local people need to be
eat
patrons
out. If you don't eat out, you're going to start eating out. Everyone's going to just say, if you don't make that sandwich at home, you're going to have to go out and buy a sandwich, right?
Do things that help support our local businesses.
Definitely. Well, it actually was funny. Last week we went out and they ran out of food, right?
Well,
almost. I got the last roll, Dr. D.
Yeah.
Where did we go out?
Cantwell's.
Well, I got the last
that's
roll.
a good place to go.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Put your hands together. One of the best sandwiches I had.
Absolutely.
And Dominique had a bag for lettuce. She goes, please, Erica just has to have lettuce on her sandwich. Please give her lettuce.
We toss lettuce to our chickens. They never have to beg.
I know. Please give Erica lettuce. No, because I got the last roll, and they were like, "What was that? That was last Thursday, right?"
Yeah, before the freeway was open,
and they didn't have the provolone. No,
fresh mozzarella.
They didn't have fresh mozzarella, so I love the provolone. Listen, Erica is not too picky when it comes to the last roll. I got the last roll.
There you go.
I didn't have to have the lettuce wrap because we were lucky I got the little piece of lettuce. So it was a delicious sandwich. So I have to say, if you want an Italian sandwich, lots of places to get a lot of Italian sandwich. But since I got the last roll, let's get a free plug to Cantwell's.
All right.
Okay. There you go. It was
we can send them an
sandwich.
invoice and see if they'll pay. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd pay extra. It was just a wonderful sandwich. Huh? It was delicious.
They've got good
Thank
food.
you. And I didn't have to pay for it. So thank you, Dominique.
All right.
Bought me a sandwich. Thank you. Sam, you didn't get a sandwich because you were busy that day, so you didn't want to have a sandwich. What's your favorite sandwich? If I could buy you any sandwich that you want, and we're at a deli, just visualize this, because I believe in thoughts creating. So one of these days, Erica's going to buy you a sandwich and make Dominique pay. So what kind of sandwich would you want?
Probably a foot-long turkey from Valentino's.
Oh, I love Sherry
Good
Valentino.
choice.
Sherry, you got a good sandwich going over there, too.
Yeah.
Love Sherry at Valentino's. Delicious sandwiches
Didn't you
over there.
bring me a sandwich from Valentino's?
Of course I brought you, Sherry.
Oh, my
That's when
God. That
we
was
had
so
the
good.
undefeated Bishop State champion
unbelievable.
football. But
Yeah.
I did get you turkey.
Yes, you did.
And I doubled the meat.
Yes.
Yes. That's right. I spent no expense with you.
Okay, I confess, I raised my children on Valentina's pizzas, cheese with pineapple.
Oh God.
Ooh.
That's
What about the
I knew it was
the bacon or
vegetarian.
thing?
Vegetarian.
Okay.
That's why they. No, I love you.
Yeah, I would get one all veggies, and then the other one would be cheese and pineapple, and that was the dessert pizza.
There's no catches in that bump. You don't like pineapple pizza, do you? No.
I like pineapple.
On pizza?
Yay!
Not on pizza sometimes.
Oh.
I like Hawaiian
I'm not
pizza.
saying nothing.
Pineapple and Canadian bacon. I guess that's what they use. Because I'm
What
not
is
vegan.
it with you guys? I'm saying nothing.
Well, I will tell you. I will tell you that Okay, I was out at Costco.
You're a
and
New Yorker. What can I say?
That's right.
it.
I
All
was out at
day.
Costco, and I had one of their combo pizza slices.
Yes.
Which was actually really, really very good. I got to tell you, it was really good. I like going out there to have lunch and just walk through the aisles of the place, not necessarily buying anything, although that day I did. There's so many good places.
Okay, I met the general manager from Whole Food Pizza, and everybody thinks I'm nuts, right? But Whole Food Pizza has an amazing pizza.
They do.
Okay?
We've had theirs too.
I know, but I'm just saying, I like Dominique is giving me the cool it sign. I'm not going to do it, okay?
Whole Foods has been taken over by Amazon.
Okay, I'm just saying.
They are now a distribution place
Right.
for Amazon.
I'm going to be nice. I was going to say the pizza is different. And you know something? So I went up. I was at a party over the holidays, and I said, "Come with me, please." I'm being very nice, Dominique. She's all afraid. Look at Sam's like, "Why is she doing this?" I'm going to speak my mind. I was going to say the pizza is different. Is all I said. So I went up to the nice manager, general manager, and I won't even say his name. And I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Nice Manager." I said, I think I even said it just like that. I said, "May I ask you a question? I happen to have a pizza palette, in my mouth." And I said, "I know pizza. Okay, it's different, isn't it?" He goes, "Yes, it is. Thank you." That's all I said. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just thought it was
different.
the most amazing pizza.
Yeah.
And he said, "It's not the same." That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
See?
Let's face it. When corporate America
They make changes.
They do.
buys up places, things change. And
Right.
I just want to encourage anyone who has businesses. I mean, small businesses are the foundation of America.
Right.
Yeah.
Small businesses employ more people in America than corporations.
Oh, by the way, you do realize that every corporation that exists started as a small business.
Yes.
Just saying, if
So-
I had a Whole Food pizza that was so perfect, I would have been. I'm just saying.
I don't know if they deliver, but let me give
They
them a
don't. They don't.
No. They don't
It was just so perfect.
Yeah.
And I just would have never changed it. That's
We were talking during the break to Sam about kind of what's going on at school. What's happening?
I've had a couple subs for teachers that have been missing, and then a bunch of kids have been missing schools. And for finals, they're saying that the teachers are either going to assign a project that we can do or actually have the finals. But if you take the finals, that it can only help your grade and it can't negatively affect your grade.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really great.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate the
Do you know what
compassion.
Bishop did?
Bishop,
Everybody gets
everyone
an
got
A.
A's.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All A's. I love
Everybody
that
gets an
school.
A and the trophy.
Everybody gets an A.
Okay, no, that was an A on the final. So
Yes.
the final will not detrimentally affect your grades.
Correct.
That's basically what they're saying. So
I wonder too, and maybe one of our college counselors would probably be able to answer this, but maybe the two of you would be able to too. Is there a certain level of leeway that is given to students, maybe juniors and seniors specifically, because they're headed towards college and they're trying to make sure that everything is right where it needs to be, all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted and so forth, so that they can get into the college of their choice. Is there any leeway given when they are involved in
a national disaster.
Exactly?
Good question.
She's Googling.
Well, she's Googling it, okay. And while she Googles that,
Exactly.
like I said, it's one of those things. This is probably for most of us, this is all new territory. We've never been here before. Mm-mm. Yes, we've had the fires, and then they get put out, and then we have another one, and it gets put out. This is all totally different, and so I think that we're all just kind of.
I posted something on my
feeling away.
insurance site, you know, because a lot of people haven't addressed really is the zone that the insurance company was in. So I did post it on my ePro website. I'm not licensed property and casualty broker. I
Right.
do the life and health, but I found it really interesting on the whole flood insurance,
Right.
Because the area was not. A lot of it was not in a flood zone.
Right.
So flood insurance was not mandatory.
Right.
So that's another whole area that is going to be really messy.
Yeah.
So you want to go to a little break?
Well, yeah, I just want to not so much address that specifically, but
Yeah.
address the aspect of, shall we say, and this is regarding the businesses. There's the letter of the law, and I'm using the word law in a very broad sense,
like natural law.
and the spirit of the law.
Right.
Right.
And for example, if
Okay, so that's
for example, banks,
statutory law and natural law.
right, the banks are going to require the retailers to pay their monthly whatever it is
Right.
for their facility, which they no longer either have or they don't have access to or is shut down because the city, state, whoever is in charge has said nobody can serve food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Will the financial institutions show some kind of leniency, compassion, and understanding, or will they say, no, you got to pay, you still got to pay?
So
Because without those businesses, you just said it yourself,
Right.
that it's the small businesses that are that are the backbone of our society, of our community.
Correct.
So if they lay down the letter of the law, the
Right.
businesses are gone.
Right.
So now what do we have?
Another business will go in.
So, well, there's a lot of things that happen. The Small Business Administration comes in, FEMA comes in. There's a lot of government agencies that help with disaster relief. But for the most part, local banks will most likely be doing grace periods where you'll meet with the bank manager, and for so many months you won't be paying interest. It will get deferred, on whatever your loan is. Maybe they open up some sort of a line of credit so that you can get your business rebuilt, or deal with cleaning up from the natural disaster. But for the most part, insurance was created. My grandfather was an insurance agent in one of the first insurance agencies back east, and for the most part, it was created in order to help out when a disaster hit one company, but it didn't hit the other. So it was like the idea was you pool the money together so that you can take care of each other.
Yeah.
And so what we're hoping is that our community will come together and take care of each other, so that there's this grace that happens, so that people are provided the means and the time in order to put their lives back together. So
I think the great philosophy that I learned years and years ago with helping people to create what project that they wanted to, whether it was a CD or what have you, is if you are successful, then I'm successful. I'm not doing this to get rich or become successful. I am trying to help you to become successful, and then that comes back on me.
right, our community does well because we all do well.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree 100%. Hey, let's take a break. Erica Salda, one more section. Stay tuned for more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. Dominique, where else can we find us?
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, YouTube. You can hear us on the radio waves. AM 1290, KZSB.
You know, when we were doing every single Tuesday, and for some reason in my head, this is coming from the break, I almost said, every 15 minutes!
Well, what I really like about this show is we have leadership, and I'm very proud of Sam, and he's going to do something amazing because he's a catcher. Okay, a freshman catcher of Santa Barbara High School, and he's going to wow me. So he has between now and next week and this weekend, he's going to wow me with something, because he's going to have a coordinated effort with his team, friends, family, something, because you wowed me over Christmas, and you're going to wow me again. You saved a bird over Christmas.
And a cat.
And a cat.
Really?
Yeah. And you're going to
Tell
do
us,
something
please.
wowie, okay, and on a relief effort, okay, because we're in a catastrophic disaster, and this is really healthy and really good, because when you give, you get.
Well,
it share your
it helps
giving.
healing. When we can do something
Right.
to help somebody else, it helps with our healing.
Yep. And you're a leader, and they'll follow you.
Tell us how you saved the bird and the cat.
So my cousin's been staying with us for a while, and she's around like 20 years old, and her mom lived up in Carp by the Fire, and she had a dog, a bird, and a cat, and their house was like in the mandatory evacuation spot. So her mom found somewhere for the dog to stay, but the people are like allergic to cats and like couldn't have a bird for some reason. So me and my mom and the cousin drove up there to get towards the fire and to get to the cat and the bird and to take it back and stay at our house.
You do know you're supposed to drive away from a fire? Well, that's fantastic.
Very
Congratulations.
brave.
That's
very brave.
You know, that's probably one of the most heartbreaking things. I know my wife in particular, and we have our neighbors up on the hill, are the same way, that when they see the stories of some of the unfortunate situations that have happened with animals. But then, of course, you're buoyed up and lifted up when you hear the stories.
Hear the good stories.
The good stories, yeah. So,
there are so many people who have rescued. All those small deeds of kindness add up to an amazing community.
Absolutely.
That's all we've got to do is turn the kindness.
Yeah.
I want everybody in Santa Barbara to think, every time you get up, every single day, please, Santa Barbara, one by one,
what
everybody.
What can we do to help?
Be kind. Make somebody happy. Start with you today, okay? Sam, you're my man, all right? God bless Santa Barbara. See you next week!